What do we have for Leo? Death. Scorpio energy in reverse at the foundation of the reading. Leo, one of the messages that I got for you right before I began the reading was that you need to stop putting off what you should have done yesterday. Now, the overall tone that I have been feeling for a lot of you Leos out there is that you're holding back from some sort of new beginning, or rather the next level up. But Source really wants you to start preparing to push forward come the end of February, when the astrology is going to be supporting you stepping back out into the world, is what I heard very clearly. Now, the Death card in reverse is representing this energy of feeling very stuck. It's an energy where I feel that everything that's happened up until this very moment has completely drained you of your hope. But I really feel that the divine wants an opportunity to prove to you that they've been with you the entire time, which is where faith comes in. No matter how low you may feel, and no matter what you have gone through that has led you to this very point, they need you to pick yourself up and push forward with all of your might, because what you are going to experience is an elevation, is an embrace, is the level up. It's during this moment that you're going to start to realize that you were most definitely stuck inside a cycle of non-action. Within an instant, a new kind of hope will flood through, fill that space where you thought you had none left, and a new kind of faith coming online that you never thought possible. Within this shift, you feel seen, you feel significant, you feel a part of the grand design, and the only thing standing in your way is the illusion that you think you're alone. God wants to put you back together in front of those who may have broken you. Or maybe you broke yourself, Leo. Maybe you were your own worst enemy. But I really do feel that it's one or the other. It's either energies external to you, or it's some sort of limiting belief that you've allowed to ride shotgun for far too long. However, the limiting belief can always be traced back to a kind of programming. It's a mindset that we typically pick up somewhere along our path. So having said that, it suggests that no matter what it is that's holding you back, Leo, or has held you back rather, has originated from an external entity. An entity I'm hearing that was strategically placed onto your timeline in your life to stop you from where the divine needs you to go now. I'm also hearing that you're not only going to recover, Leo, you're going to flourish in places where you once feel abandoned or defeated. And the Death card, upright, is an energy of transformation, death to the old, a rebirthing of a new kind of you. But in reverse, it's telling us that you're just sort of sitting on the threshold, afraid to take that leap forward, afraid because you've become so used to that space that you've been marinating in for far too long. The world needs you, Leo, and it's this one final leap that is going to prove to you exactly what I'm saying here to be true. What do we have at the sacral, please? Knight of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy at the sacral. Now, this is following what I'm saying regarding you just kind of sitting there on the edge, on the threshold, so to speak. Knight of Pentacles is an energy that is completely stopped, or in some cases moving as slow gets when it comes to the tarot. And it's right there at the sacral position. So I'm picking up on a blocked sacral. So blocked sacral is an energy that's very isolated and very fearful. It's also an energy that is really lacking any sort of enthusiasm or creativity. Now, for some of you, this could be directly connected to some sort of creative project or something that Source has provided you with, an idea, a download that you need to put action behind, but you're just kind of sitting on it. You've received the mission statement, but you are not suiting up because you are allowing all these limiting beliefs, which are all byproducts of this previous cycle that you've already closed out. You've already moved on. I can feel it in the energy. But you're somewhere in between worlds. You're in between what once was and what is about to be. Now, in most cases, it's okay to marinate in that space for a little while. It's essentially part of the journey. But eventually, you have to pick yourself up and push forward. Simply put, Leo, it's time to break out of a kind of hermit energy that I feel you in. I feel like I've picked this up in your readings at some point over the past few months, Leo, so surprised that I'm getting it here again. But it does make perfect sense because of the astrology and the fact that the entire collective is getting ready to make a massive leap forward come the end of February. when most of these retrogrades that are having the major influence over our life will come to an end. It's your window of opportunity, Leo. And now would be the perfect time to really start preparing yourself for this. Put a plan together, set a goal for yourself, and don't overwhelm yourself. Set one goal, get to the other side of it, and then set another one, which can also, in a more positive sense, be the energy of this Knight of Pentacles. Baby steps, Leo. That's all we need here. Sometimes when you try to take too much on, you can cause that flame to burn out because you feel too overwhelmed. This process always gives you the sense like you need to catch up to something. But Leo, the only person that you are in competition with is the person you were yesterday. That's it. And I just heard, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Healing is waiting for you, Leo. That space that you've been in, you've done your time there. But now it's time for the next part of your journey, of your healing. You're not meant to stay in that space any longer. And then right on the bottom of the deck, the Tower, Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy. So this energy of breaking free from this false sense of security that you have acquired during this period of healing. Now, it hasn't always been a false sense of security, but again, you've done your time there. It's like going into a hospital for a surgery and you're so well taken care of while you're healing that you think, hey, you know what? Maybe I could just stay here. There's really not a whole lot of difference here, other than the fact that what you're going through right now is a spiritual kind of healing. The healing's over. Now it's time to prepare. What do we have? The solar plexus, please. Five of Swords, Aquarius energy at the solar plexus. So the Five of Swords is really speaking about you being open to what's next. I feel like I'm speaking to some Leos out there that have been waiting for the divine to show up on their front doorstep and carry them to the next timeline, but it's not how it works. Source communicates with you by way of downloads, in some cases dreams, signs, synchronicities, and of course, all of this is funneled through your intuitive guidance. It's a kind of deeper knowing. All of a sudden, I had this flash of 222 and 1111 in my mind's eye. Whether or not you are actually seeing these numbers, it's just a reminder that all of these sorts of things are the signs and synchronicities. This is how the universe gets your attention, communicates with you. A lot of the times, it's to show you that you're on the right path or to encourage you to keep going or to simply let you know that you are not alone. And what I have found interesting in my own personal life is that I always see those signs and synchronicities when I feel a kind of level up or a breakthrough coming through. And once the energies settle down, I'm getting comfortable inside that new space. It's as if things kind of quiet down a little bit. And once you've gone through this process a number of times, you start to have this deeper understanding of the language of the universe, how the universe communicates with you. And I believe that all of us have our own custom language with the universe, with Source. Yes, there are similarities in how we all sort of see this language, but at the end of the day, no one can really fully tell you how to read it because it's up to you to trust your inner knowing that what you are feeling is correct. Now, this Five of Swords at the solar plexus position is also speaking about you finally getting past this resentment that I feel has been, well, it's just had its grip on you for quite some time, Leo, which is leading you to have an unhealthy relationship with yourself, which is essentially putting you in opposition with yourself again, right? You become your own worst enemy. This is when that little devil on your shoulder and that little angel on your other shoulder are squaring off, causing you to marinate in that space of non-action because you're so confused on which way you should move. You just resolve to remaining where you are. Now, the silver lining to all of this, Leo, is that there is a reason why all of this is happening to you, and it's because of your mission, what the divine has assigned to you, how truly influential and monumental it is. You are meant to cause a ripple effect. It's going to be different for all of you out there, but you are meant to inject your energy into the collective. You affect the actual turning of the gears. That's why it's so important for you to show up, and that's why you are feeling this tremendous sense of resistance and this heaviness to not want to move forward. I'm also hearing that a number of you out there are feeling very tired right now. The reason for this is because the universe is trying to bring your attention to the fact that you are amplifying the energy that you are currently existing in right now. So, and this can be said for anybody, but the way you move in your everyday waking life, the relationship you keep with yourself, the motivation you have to get up and fight another day, or the lack thereof, is exactly what the universe will amplify back into your life. This is Manifestation 101. And where the world is currently at, astrologically speaking, and will continue to be for several decades to come, which I think is all having to do with Pluto being in Aquarius, is really just speaking about our ability to manifest on a dime, whether good or bad. So, Leo, having said that, you can turn around your circumstances in a moment, overnight, but you have to harness your superpower in order to do so, which is your inner strength and courage. At this moment, Leo, the path is clear for you. Nobody is telling you that you need to remain where you are at this current moment. And right on the bottom, right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Cups. So there you are, withdrawing, walking away from non-action and the resentments of the past that are still hanging heavily inside your energy, and then the Devil. Okay? So everything we've said here falls under this umbrella of, let's say, fear, right? Then it trickles down into non-action, past resentments. All these things fall under that one umbrella that the Devil casts over our life. The non-action falls under his umbrella, and you have to let that message sink in, Leo. Everything that you have overcome to get to this point, although you may have removed yourself from all of these things on your path that were holding you back, just because they may not physically be in your reality anymore, energetically, it still exists. The energy is still with you. The chains that bind, spiritually speaking, are still binding you. The way you break free of these chains is to shatter the illusions that others have placed around who they think you are supposed to be in this life cycle. It's up to you to put your foot down and say no more. It's very clear. I just saw you looking at yourself in the mirror, stomping your foot and saying no more. It's like you look at your reflection and you see a lion staring back at you. The war with these external forces, Leo, whatever that may be for you, is over, but you are still fighting a battle with yourself for absolutely no good reason. You're punishing yourself just because it's what you're so used to doing. What do we have at the heart, please? What do we have at the heart, please? Wow. 10 of Wands, Sag energy at the heart. So this 10 of Wands is you laying down these burdens, right? It's like this is a representative from the divine. He's like, all right, Leo, hand it over to me. You got to get going now. You can't carry all this weight, all these burdens, these resentments from the past. Give it to us. We're going to transmute this for you. And you're like, kind of reluctant. Some of you think that you don't deserve any better. You may not admit that to yourself, but the way you're moving says otherwise. This is a perfect case of individuals out there in the collective that need to learn how to love themselves better. That's the part of the journey that you are now at. It's all about love. The way you love yourself allows the universe to reflect a reality back into your life that is a clear representation, or rather manifestation, of that love. Your path is no longer about war. It's about pure love. It's not to say that there won't be something else that you may need to come up against in the future, but this is where you're at right now. Now it's all about you. Now it's all about rebuilding. Everything that has taken place up until this moment has led you to the point where you are standing at the top of this road. I can see you in my mind's eye. I see the horizon line that divides the sky and the path that has been laid out before you. And in each direction, just an endless field of opportunities that present themselves as a kind of uncharted territory. All a representation of what you now have access to. You've heard about miracles before, Leo, but you've never seen one unfold in your life quite like this. But you have to be open for it. It's all about your vibration. You have to be able to receive what's in alignment with you. You've been so used to pushing against the grain by way of circumstance, things that you never saw coming or things that you may not have even had control over. Everybody's situation is different. But now you do have control. Now you have a choice. You have this energy that lights up the room, Leo. I can already tell that you're a group of Leos, or whoever may be listening to this reading, Leo or not, who knows how to make things happen. So what's stopping you? Have you paused to ask yourself that? What do we have at the throat, please? Oh, perfect. Two of Wands, Aries energy, and now here you are, right? See, this is great because here's this representative of the divine, right? Here he is right here, taking all your burdens away from you. And now he's kind of watching you, right? You don't know that he's watching you. He's like, I wonder if Leo's going to do it. And there you are. The world in the palm of your hands. Two of Wands is an energy of putting together a plan for the future, which we've already channeled through in this spread. But overall, it's an energy of discovery. You understanding that you have not reached the end of the road or your journey, so to speak, beginning to realize that it hasn't even begun yet. By way of circumstance, you were taken from this path, like all of us, Leo. You were distracted for a lifetime. But now, here you are, staring down the rest of your life, a space that feels familiar to you. Leo, when we're incarnated into these life cycles, we're placed right on the top of that road. But due to circumstance, family dynamics, and the constant bombarding of this matrix that we all live in, we are distracted. We are detoured inside the devil's matrix, so we don't make our way down that road. However, here you are now, staring at that horizon line that divides the sky and that road with this familiar knowing that you can't quite place. Could even be past life for some of you. But all that matters is you are here now. But because of your free will, Leo, you cannot be forced. Oh no, you've got to want it. Nothing is more important than you setting out down that road. The divine standing by. I just see all these archangels looking down over you, just waiting for you to make the right choice. They're practically biting their nails. This is just a representation of the energy that I'm getting here. Come on, Leo. Come on. All of them have been working behind the scenes to get you to this space, arranging things for you. There's this sort of invisible barrier that separates us from the divine. It's all a part of being inside this matrix. That's why the signs, the synchronicities, the intuitive downloads, all of these things are so important because that's how they communicate with us. And I've said this before, but living inside this third density is us behind enemy lines. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and with it comes these multi-layered complexities with regards to how we navigate it. What do we have at the third eye, please? Five of Swords again. Two different decks. Aquarius energy. And it's at that third eye position. Now, this Two of Wands at the throat is also highlighting this limiting belief that I've spoken about throughout the reading. This is what you are being encouraged to break free of now, whatever that represents for you. It's going to be different for each and every one of you. But it really speaks about a relationship you keep with yourself because it's at the throat. No, I can't do this. I can't do that. It doesn't even have to be verbal. It could be mental. Typically, it's going to be both. You have resolved to an idea of who you think you're supposed to be, which is based on an outdated belief system or a program that you're still running when you don't even need to anymore. This Five of Swords at the third eye is really speaking about all the weight you are still carrying, Leo. I just heard, you are allowing yourself to become defined by all the things you could have been. Exactly where they want you. Leo, now, I'm thinking back to that image of you staring in the mirror, and you see a lion staring back at you. And I'm hearing that when doubt whispers, stand before the mirror and see a lion who has weathered storms, yet walks the grace of dawn. What do we have at the crown, please? Five of Wands. This is how you disarm the enemy. Here they are. Whoever they are. Could be principalities. It could just be lingering energies, things that people have placed upon you that don't belong to you, right? These ideas of who you think you're supposed to be. But after everything we've said, they've lowered their wands. It no longer affects you. Five, five. Finally moving on. 3 5s. 5, 5, 5. Leo, I'm hearing abundance is yours, but you need to open up your heart and your mind to the blessings that are being offered to you now. First is a blessing of freedom, and each blessing that follows is the result of every step that you take toward the rest of your life. The 5 of Wands from this deck represents there being no more obstacles or challenges on your path. Again, the road and the horizon line, it belongs to you. What do we have at the foundation, please? The Empress. Gramarye at the foundation. The Empress from this deck is the Empress in its negative polarity. So this is an energy of feeling blocked. There's also an energy here of, I'm hearing, it's an energy of being dependent on others' validation, which could be something that is just all a result of this limiting belief that your life needs to look a certain way to appease individuals who I don't even think are in your life anymore, Leo. Again, it's just this old programming. This is not easy to break, okay? I totally get it, all right? So I do feel what you're going through here, Leo, but it is possible. Now, this is also called a poverty mindset. It's kind of that feeling of having that dark cloud follow you around. You don't really know why. But what I can tell you is, Leo, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is all the result, again, of something that was programmed into you, quite possibly without your knowing, by someone external to you, or a collection of events that just changed you. Now, I just heard some of you out there say, how does that happen? Well, the easiest one to understand is obviously being raised in certain dynamics with authority that maybe didn't know any better. Maybe they were just passing along their own limiting beliefs that maybe they picked up. This is called generational karma. But then it gets to you, and you are the chosen one, chosen to break the chain or the cycle, so to speak. Now, the other ways this could unfold is by way of circumstance. So you going through situations, events in your life over and over and over again to the point where it just wears on you spiritually. It wears you thin, Leo, and it strips you of your own individualistic identity. It tells you that you are the things, the events that you have been through, but you are not. You are a vessel for the divine, and you will be bombarded and attacked from the moment of inception. We are in a spiritual war, and the most difficult thing about being inside this reality is the fact that it doesn't necessarily look that way. We just think it's another day. But it's not. What's harder than fighting a war? A war you can't see, because we're not fighting flesh and blood. We are fighting principalities that seek to destroy and keep us off our path. That's how they defeat you. They defeat you in a very incremental fashion to where it goes unnoticed. It's this very patient and meticulous breaking down of who you are and what you came here to do without you even realizing it. You're so distracted with the everyday grind of life, you don't know that there's this whole spiritual battle going on in another dimension for your purpose and mission. Here you are, just trying to make your way through life, not knowing that there's a spiritual war taking place right now in this very moment between your guides and those principalities. Your guides are trying to protect you the best they can. But the challenge to that is that when we get led so far astray, there's only so much they can do. Because remember, the way you move is the way you program your reality, which suggests that we are in a simulation, a game. Divine's like, oh no, Leo didn't go down that path, did they? We can't protect Leo when they're down there. That's not God's country. That's the devil's territory. Which brings me to the saying, no weapon that form against us shall prosper. This is only true when you are on path, when you are following your higher guidance. Then the divine has got your back because you help them help you. I hope I'm making myself clear there, Leo. I feel that every time I mention that saying, there's a whole lot of people out there that feel offended by that or just don't understand it. But this is really the truth of it. And it makes perfect sense. I mentioned in one of the readings recently, if you're in hell, the divine's not going to protect you. Why would they? They want you to feel the heat of hell, so you want to get out of there, and then they can protect you. What do we have at the sacral, please? Nine of Wands, Martiosius, Sag energy at the sacral. Now, this Nine of Wands stacked with this Knight of Pentacles is telling me that, well, I'm picking up on some paranoia, which is leading to this non-action, or it's just essentially fear, right? Paranoia falls under the umbrella of fear. But there's also some of you out there that don't think that you're ready yet. You're unprepared. But this all comes down to faith. I'm thinking about what I said at the beginning of the reading about the divine wanting to show you that they've been here the entire time, which is going to be the result of you pressing forward, which is going to allow this newfound sense of hope and faith to flood through. So everything is hinging on this big leap forward, Leo, that is required of you at this time to make this happen. I just heard very clearly, the divine is going to catch you. You don't need to worry. Now, Leo, I'm getting this visual in my mind's eye. It's like the divine, your spirit team is saying, Leo, come on, jump. We're going to catch you, right? Which is just really another way of speaking about this leap of faith. And you're kind of standing there on the edge, on the threshold of this new beginning, and you're hesitating, and you're looking back, and there's all these demons and entities from the underworld getting closer and closer to you. It's like they're just coming after you. They're going to try and reach you before you take that leap of faith. This is what this feels like to me. What do we have at the solar plexus? Eight of Swords, Gemini energy, folklore at the solar plexus. Perfect. It's like this is what's coming up behind you. Now, this Eight of Swords, on one hand, it's you breaking free from a place that is completely self-imposed. At this point, you're the only one holding yourself back. And on the other hand, it's an energy of you feeling like you're powerless or you're trapped. And it represents those limiting beliefs, that story that you tell yourself that's not even true. It doesn't even belong to you. I feel for a lot of you, it is generational karma. See, this is what this is. This is how generational karma unfolds. What do you think it is? It's a collection of meticulously crafted limiting beliefs that are programmed into you to stop you from breaking the chains that bind you and your family lineage. It may show up differently for you than it did for those that came before you, but energetically, it's all the same. But now here you are. You have the power in the palm of your hand to break free of this by taking that leap forward. Whatever that means for you, whether you have to charge towards that creative project, whether you have to move somewhere, whether you have to speak your truth, whether you have to finally start making your way towards your purpose. There's countless different ways this is going to show up for each and every one of you. But you should know what it is. And if you don't, then maybe the reading's not for you, but something tells me it is. What do we have at the heart, please? Again, look at that. Twice, Gremory, Empress, red in its negative polarity. And see, that's the thing. Look what it says right here. Self-made person, right? Which is the result of you breaking free of these chains. It's like this spirit, this energy doesn't want this to happen. Because you becoming this self-made person is you no longer being held back by this curse. Generational karma, the chains that bind, all these things, they're really the same thing. You know, some might say, well, it starts out as a curse and then it turns into generational karma, which just becomes the chains that bind. But at the end of the day, it's all the same. If it's keeping you from who you were sent here to become, it is of the enemy, period. I'm also hearing something as well, that a lot of you are starting to really see this now. As you're getting up and you're mustering up the strength and courage to push forward, you feel something in the energy. It's like this weird, creepy, sort of spirit kind of demon just comes over you. It's like, oh, Leo, where do you think you're going, huh? Who told you that you can become that? That's not how this goes down. You're like, what? This is real? Yes, Leo. I remember when I went through this process, I was doing these really deep meditation sessions, and I could hear these spirits, these principalities screaming at me. They were screaming my name and yelling out, "What are you doing? You can't do that." I know, it sounds wild, but it's true. I've never shared that before either, Leo. So me being a little bit vulnerable there can give you a little bit of encouragement. and to also let you know that I see you, Leo. I hear you. I understand. And then we have Poel, which is the Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, fortune and fame. So this is an energy here, self-made person, exactly what they don't want you to accomplish, fortune and fame, okay? And here you are in communion with the divine. So now we're seeing this energy of abundance flooding through. Now the Empress in its upright is the most abundant energy in the tarot. And we have the Empress right here on the other side of this card, but that's Empress in reverse. So it's the opposite of abundance. But now here you are attaining this abundance. There's a lot of prosperity here, Leo. You're going to look back on this one day. Maybe you'll think about this reading and all the other messages that you got that all accumulated together to give you that needed push, but you will recognize where you're at and be so grateful that you were able to harness that strength and courage to take that leap. You're also going to look back and see how truly scary it was that you almost didn't do it. That will be something that stays with you a while. I've gone through that. I used to think back about those times when I was in a sort of similar situation as to this one, and the amount of times that I didn't take that leap. And then after I finally took it, I was able to look back with perspective because I was outside of the fishbowl, so to speak. And I looked in, I was like, oh my God, I didn't see it like that. I was literally in the middle of hell, right? Because you can't see the forest for the trees. You truly do not know the evil that surrounds you until you remove yourself and gain perspective and understanding of what it is you have overcome to get to the point that you are at in that moment. Lay down your burdens, attain this abundance, this fortune and fame, whatever fortune and fame means to you. What do we have at the throat, please? Oh, here you are looking back, Leo, at the evils that you have left behind. The Tower, Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy, Uriel, the fire of God. Disruption, warns of disasters, aids in transformation. Look, you got the memo, right? You're like, oh my God. I couldn't see how evil you truly were until I escaped your grasp, right? Perspective, a higher vantage point. You're like, wait a second. I didn't see it like that before. And we saw the Tower earlier on. Now here it is coming out from this deck, which is representing the destruction of this complete false security that you think is your life, or you think needs to be your life because it was programmed into you. But this is you having the revelation, the wake-up call, and dropping that tower, which houses that idea that you will be defined by all of the things that you could have been. That is not happening, Leo. What do we have at the third eye, please? Perfect. The Magician, Nathea. Gemini, Virgo energy. Spiritual wisdom and magic. Helps one gain wisdom and discover hidden secrets. So here you are now, finally turning all of these visions for your life into reality. They're not just dreams. They're not just these lost, true heart's desires that you think are only destined to exist inside the dream realm. No, this is you aligning with that reality where all of this exists. You become the magician. You become the walking, talking embodiment of all of those dreams and true heart's desires. It is in this reality, and you are not taking anything less. And you're also realizing that anyone that tries to tell you that you need to is an enemy. What do we have at the crown, please? Too many cards. Strength, Ace of Wands, King of Wands. All three of those cards are Leo energy. Strength, Leo, Ace of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag. King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag. So coming into your own. Perfect. Six of Wands. Leo, that is your energy to close out the reading. Now, Leo, what I'm hearing here as well with this magician, when it comes to your hopes and dreams, you need to make sure that they're in alignment with your highest good and the highest good of all. This is very important. I've started to repeat this a lot more in my readings because there's a lot of people that hear this reading and it's probably not for them. And they think that they can go out and do anything that they want because they're hearing this message, not understanding that it has to be in alignment with what the divine has willed for your life, period. And then we have the Six of Wands at the crown to close out the reading. Shahia, God who took evil. Longevity, protects against infirmities. Now, this Six of Wands is an energy of victory. So this is you actually achieving what you set out to achieve. It's the energy of a personal triumph, and it's right underneath this Five of Wands. So 5 to the 6. It's like you broke through these obstacles, these challenges that they placed on your path, right? It's like this guy right here is like, I thought you said that we could hold Leo back. This person's like, well, I thought we could too, but I guess Leo, just learn how to overcome usually it works. So Leo, whatever it is that is holding you back, whatever it is that you think is in your way, it's not. It's all an illusion. It's only in your way because you say it's in your way. But I'm telling you, based on what I'm seeing here and feeling in the energy, that once you manage to overcome this and push forward, again, you're going to look back in complete disbelief with what you have actually had to overcome to get to where you are. Because a lot of this, you just can't even see. Again, it's that spiritual war. So hopefully this gives you the encouragement you need, Leo, to go get what is rightfully yours and align with your purpose as a means to fulfill your destiny in this life cycle. Leo, this is the message I have available to all of you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations, Leo. Take care.